Hi everybody and welcome to the first of my videos about gunfight tactics in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, a beginner's guide to gunfight tactics. Now, for most of this gunfight, the tactic I use is what I call push right and cover left. So basically what I try and do is move over to the right hand side of the map, and then I get on Pine anyway, get on the stairs, and then I'm covering the left hand lookout tower over there, and then I just hold. And the idea with this sort of fairly campy tactic, I guess you'd call it, is to try and force your opponents to make mistakes, because in gunfight where it's 2v2, the team that can get itself into a 2v1 situation like this always has the advantage. And when you're in that 2v1 situation, you need to make sure you don't do anything rash. And then you move forward, cover the centre flag in case it goes down to overtime and you need to take it, or you know the enemy have got to take it, and then you can react accordingly. So here we go. So I'm pushing up right, I get on these stairs so I'm covered sort of in front, and then I'm covering, in this case, that little gap there, and I'm covering, there he is, see the other guy there? So I blat him, and now I know that his mate has got to be somewhere in front of us, and my colleague there manages to get the kill. I wouldn't recommend you play an entire game of gunfight using the same tactics, you know, pushing right, covering left, because the enemy should pick up on this. And what should happen is the guy who keeps going over to the opposite tower that I'm going to should kind of maybe push through the middle, or they should both push down this side to take me out. Because if you watch what we do, me and my colleague, we always tend to be on different sides of the map. You know, we separate, and the other guy's a little bit more aggressive than I am. Now, once you get to a situation where it's like this, where it's only where it's 2 versus 1 and you're the one, again, don't make a rash decision. You want to see if you can get them to make the move first. And I'm actually pretty unlucky with this one, so I plant an explosive on the other side, and if I'd just been a second quicker, I could have killed that guy before he got the objective. But the mistake those guys made there was they didn't need to push and take the objective, because if you're in a 2v1 situation, all you need to do is cover the objective so that when the one player rushes it, you just both open fire. Now I'm doing a slight variation on this. Now I've pushed left, but I'm covering the left hand tower, and just listening out. You're listening for that footstep. You're waiting for that, again, the other person, the other team, to make that mistake, to give away their position. And in this case, you know, they're not pushing. I think I can hear someone sort of to my 2 o'clock position. So I pop up and I see him. We're in 2 versus 1. And when we're in 2 versus 1, then we can slowly push forward a little bit, just to see if we can see the other guy. And my colleague grabs the flag. Now, other things to consider in gunfights are, if you think your gun skills aren't very good, alright, do not worry about relying on your teammate, okay? You know, hang back, and one of the most important things you can do as the weaker member of a gunfight duo is simply stay alive. Because the danger in gunfight, as I've said, is getting yourself into that 2 versus 1 situation, because they are difficult to win 2 versus 1 situations. I mean, you know, I'm in one here, and do I manage to win this one? I can't remember now. Let's see. Do I win this one using my stun? I think I do, actually. I take that guy, and I hear the other one running behind me, and I blat him. But that is a difficult thing to do to win a 2 versus 1. So, if you think your gun skills aren't that good, and you're not that confident in them, don't go charging forward and do stuff. Just try and stay alive, and you'll be amazed when the enemies charge towards you, you can get them. The other thing to really get used to in gunfight is the types of weapons that you're going to be using. So before the gunfight starts, you know, on each round, well, each other round where the guns change, have a look at the weapons and think, right, how am I going to be using them? So you may, for example, have a sniper rifle as your primary, but your secondary could well be a shotgun, you know, and that might be a more effective weapon to equip. So you equip the shotgun rather than the sniper, move yourself into a nice position and wait for the enemies to make a move, and then you can black them with the shotgun. The other thing with sniper rifles as well, actually, is what you want to be doing is at the start, when you're moving away from your spawn positions, just aim down sight towards where the enemies are and off to one side and look for the long line of sight, and you'll be amazed how many times the enemy will just run across a little bit and you can black them. However, be very careful when it's sniper versus sniper of just strafing slowly over, because they will be looking down the map straight at you. You're better off double sprinting and sliding to your next location. So again, look at the weapon. So think, right, okay, so I've got a shotgun and a pistol. Maybe I should use the pistol, as my primary distance weapon, and get ready to change to the shotgun if I get into close quarters encounters. Or the other thing other things you want to look at are the lethal that you have and the tactic that you have. So what have you got? Have you got a frag grenade? Have you got a Molotov? Have you got C4? Have you got a stun grenade? Is it a smoke grenade? All these sorts of things. Because especially with C4, where you've got to press the button twice to make it explode, you'll want to think about that. Here's a good example here where we've got the M4 with the new tube underneath. So I've in effect got another grenade that I can use, and I kind of lob it off towards those guys. But also you'll want to become familiar with these different types of weapons, so you might want to get into bot matches, and this is a classic. So I've held the right, I've covered the left, we've put some damage points into the other guy, because remember, you look up at the top of the screen and this game mode tells you exactly what damage the opponents have. So at the moment we're on basically full health, 199, and they were down to 100 because they'd lost one person. And well, we're coming up to the end of the game now, so remember these things. Try this push right but cover left tactic. And as a beginner to gunfight, the most important thing you can do is simply stay alive. Don't get killed. Right, let's let these I can't remember how this game finished, actually, whether we finished it off straight away or not. I'm not particularly good with pistols. I'm quite good at blowing all my ammunition out. So you see how we're waiting, the guy's waiting there, we're waiting for the enemies to do their thing, waiting for them to make a move. He comes up, so we get the kill on that guy. So it's 1 versus 2 now, so this is a dangerous situation for me. Very difficult to pull these off. But what I do is I push the flag. They don't push in fast enough, and I get the victory by actually capturing the flag in a 1 versus 2 situation. But there we go, my first Gunfight Beginner's Tactics Strategies Guide. Hopefully it's useful. Put your questions and comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.